of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Tippett is going to lead us in prayer.
Shall we pray? Our Father, we come today with thankful hearts. We thank you for the privilege we have of serving you and our community. We are grateful for this board and its leadership. Grant them the wisdom and the courage needed to make the right decisions. Bless them, I pray, and bless our school, our teachers, and we'll give you thanks and praise. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Reverend.
Mr. Tippett.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I can find my agenda on the offset.
It's in one of those piles.
Okay. We have a public comment portion of our meeting now, and I did receive a card. Holland, and not Mr. Michael, can't read your handwriting, sorry. From Holland and Knight on behalf of Florida Blue. And if you would take the podium, please. We do have a 3-minute limit on talking.
Sure.
Okay.
Madam Superintendent, Madam Chairman, and members of the board, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. My name is Michael Gropper, Gropper, and I'm an attorney at the law firm of Holland and Knight. I'm here today on behalf of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, who you know as Florida Blue. Florida Blue has a long-standing relationship providing health insurance benefits to the district's officers, employees, and their dependents, and Florida Blue would very much like to continue serving as the district's health insurance provider. As such, Florida Blue was surprised to learn that the agenda for today's meeting includes a request on the consent agenda that the school board approve a change in the health insurance providers for the 2016 calendar year from Florida Blue to United Healthcare. We understand that the school board has the right to choose the district's health insurance provider, but it must do so in accordance with Florida law. The law requires the school board to advertise for competitive bids, to enter into any contracts upon the basis of such bids, and to do so in a fair and open and transparent process that complies with the Sunshine Law. We believe that if the board were to take action today on approving a change in the health insurance providers for the 2016 calendar year, that action would be illegal. As is more fully explained in a letter from Karen Walker of Holland and Knight to each board member, which was delivered yesterday and which you should have in your meeting packet, neither the board nor the district has conducted a competitive procurement as required by Florida law. Section 11208-2A Florida statutes permits local governmental units to enter into contracts for group health insurance for officers and employees of the governmental unit and for their dependents. But it specifically states, before entering any contract for insurance, the local governmental unit shall advertise for competitive bids, and such contracts shall be let upon the basis of such bids. The law defines local governmental unit to include a school board. Florida Blue is not aware of the school board advertising for competitive bids for health insurance to replace Florida Blue's existing contract with the district for the 2016 calendar year. Consequently, it appears that the requested action by the school board reflected in item E7 on the school board's agenda violates Florida law, and any contract entered into between the district or school board and United as a result of the requested action would be illegal. There also appears to be other potential legal problems with the request for approval of insurance carrier on the school board's agenda. The backup material for the agenda item is a memorandum from Ms. Odom, the district's chief financial officer, to the board packet October 20th, 2015 consent, seeking school board approval to change health insurance providers for the 2016 calendar year. The memorandum refers to the insurance committee having met on October 13th, 2015. There's a public notice on the school board's website that refers to a closed meeting of the district's insurance committee scheduled at 9 a.m. on October 13, 2015 that school board members were invited to attend. To the extent that the insurance committee met on October 13th and developed a recommendation to present to the school board, or 2 or more school board members attended such a meeting, the meeting was required to be open to the public and conducted in the sunshine pursuant to Florida's Sunshine Law. Finally, we question how the school board can lawfully exercise its authority to vote to change health insurance providers on the basis of no more than a 3-sentence memorandum and without consideration of rates and other matters, which the memorandum indicates will be presented at a later school board meeting. For the reasons I have discussed today, and which are more fully set forth in Karen Walker's letter of October 19, 2015, we respectfully request that the school board not take action on approving a change in the health insurance providers for the 2016 calendar year until the school board has complied with the applicable law, including conducting a competitive solicitation. We appreciate your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Douglas, could you advise, I mean, we did go out on competitive bid for a broker.
Yes, and I would ask that item E7 be pulled from the consent agenda so we can discuss it at
Great.
the appropriate time. If
We can
wanna
do it, we can do it now, if the chairman allows it,
Sure. Absolutely.
if the board will allow
Is
it.
that okay with board members?
The
Okay with me.
only problem I would have if the attorney needs more time to prepare.
Well, I mean, I can address that now. I received a letter from Holland and Knight yesterday, late, after hours,
Well, should
regarding.
I
the-
make a motion to pull it
Yeah,
from
we
the
have to pull,
agenda?
we have to pull it from the agenda, so.
Well, I thought when we got there, but if you want to make a motion now.
Oh, no, well, I just,
Yeah, before we vote, I'll pull it.
okay.
What needs to happen is we need to pull it so we can have a discussion, and then we can decide the disposition of that item at this time.
Okay, I make a motion that we pull item E7 from the consent agenda.
I second.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0.
Okay,
Now you
Charlie.
can talk about it.
Since this is the public comment section, should we ask if there's anybody else in the public who would like to address this matter?
Is there anybody else from the public who would like to address this matter? Okay. we can
Okay.
go.
All right, so I received a letter from Holland Knight, attorney Karen Walker out of the Tallahassee office, and she goes through some issues that she has with the bid process. I did take a look at the statute that she cited. It does appear that there is a requirement for a competitive bid process on the health insurance carrier. However, I'm not here prepared to say to the board conclusively that that's my opinion. There are some additional documents I've requested from Tammy and another member of the insurance committee. Rhonda Odom is not here. I believe she's on vacation. She's the chief financial officer. There's some additional facts. I'd like to be able to have a chance to speak with Mr. Page, who is the insurance agent and the broker of record. So there are a lot of facts that I would like to have the opportunity to gather before I report to the board, whether we need to put this out for bid or if the insurance committee's recommendation is sufficient for the board to vote on one way or the other.
My question to you would be, if, in fact, this is supposed to go out and bid, why do we need a broker? Why do we go through that whole process of getting us a broker to go out and get us the best deal?
Did our broker go out and do
He
that?
did. He talked
Sure.
to Aetna. He talked to
Talked to 'em,
numerous,
but did he-
numerous. Nobody's interested in us. Let me tell you that having been with this school district for
beside the
31
point.
years and having been on the insurance committee for 10 long years as a teacher, this is an age-old problem. Certainly, insurance companies are for-profit companies. My job as superintendent is to make sure that I do the absolute best for my employees, because here, our responsibility is first to the children and then to the employees. This is supposed to be a benefit. When the rates that they have to pay monthly, and I'm telling you, I've had grown men in my office crying because they and their spouse work for the district and can't afford $1,600 a month for family coverage. That is ridiculous. It was time for us to look and see. It doesn't have anything to do with who the carrier is, who the person is, who the people are locally that are doing the insurance. It has to do with what is best for our school employees.
Nobody doubts that. I just want to know, was it done in the correct
Yeah.
legal manner?
The
Were bids
day
put out?
we had 2 board members there who heard everything that went out to the insurance committee the day that they voted. I was there. I listened to the whole 9 yards. Blue Cross Blue Shield had a representative there that got to speak to the insurance committee. We didn't allow that for the other company. If anybody ought to be mad, it ought to be
So
them.
who were the 3 bids that we got?
We didn't get 3. We only had 2 companies that even look at us. United, and Blue Cross.
Other insurance companies don't have coverage
This
here,
appears to be,
Jane, so people like Aetna,
Well, I just-
those places, they don't have enough doctors in their system.
Okay.
And so I think that was part of the problem. I would just ask one thing, to Mr. Groper, was, obviously Florida Blue wasn't the decision of the committee, but were they harmed by these alleged violations?
We think the decision has to be in accordance with Florida law, which we don't think was complied.
They-
And we don't
they-
disagree with that. I'm just asking, were they? were
Florida
you-
Blue
were-
presented-
Okay, Phyllis, was Florida Blue harmed by these alleged violations, yes or no?
We think that our elected officials have set forth a procedure that was not complied with here.
Okay, and you know what? If not, we're gonna make it right, okay? So we will make it right. But again, Florida Blue, I'm taking by your silence, was not harmed in this process.
if
So-
they're,
Okay, I'd like to ask Ms. Muir to come up, Helen.
And this is, I just received this information, but it just, this is, I don't know how, this is, it basically originated from Rhonda. And this, I'm going to pass this up.
The
A
comprehensive
comprehensive RFP.
was held.
That information?
Yeah,
Okay.
we just got an email, but I don't know if the board read, but there was a comprehensive RFP was sent out August 11th, 2015 to multiple carriers for both fully insured and self-insured options. Aetna, Cigna, Humana, United Healthcare were all sent the fully insured RFP. Over a dozen companies were considered for self-funded companies proposals. Yeah, I agree. I thought that was.
this really is not an uncommon thing that happens, and it seems to be a formality that maybe Mr. Douglas can come up with a better solution for us.
And these are all facts that I'm just hearing for the first time that
Yeah,
are
I
relevant
mean,
to
if
the
it's
decision of
not,
whether it was compliant, whether the statute was compliant.
yeah, and if it hasn't been, then we'll make it right.
I'd like to suggest that we put this on the new business agenda for discussion, and Mr. Douglas will have had at our next meeting, and he'll have had time to research and bring us his recommendation.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Attorney, is that enough time? 2 weeks?
Yes, yeah, that'll be fine.
Can I
But
just
only-
remind you all, though, that as we move forward, January 1st is the date that we start whatever insurance we use. And so there's a lot of paperwork and effort and things that have to happen, and this is really going to be hard for the employees and everybody to deal with. So just keep that in mind. I know it doesn't.
That's what I was gonna get to next, and I appreciate Superintendent bringing that up, that the time frame is very tight. So what I would like from the board is some type of motion that if the opinion of the board attorney is that the statute was not correctly followed, and we have to go back out for bid, that we are able to do so immediately. And we don't have to wait 2 weeks for the next board meeting to have that vote.
I would like to entertain a motion.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Terry.
Madam Chair, I move that, after the Board Attorney's assessment of the legalities concerning the bid process, if he deems that it was not compliant with state statute, that we're allowed to immediately go out to bid.
I second that motion.
Can I just add to that with your
Okay.
permission?
Sure.
And that if he deems that we did do it properly, we proceed with this
That's-
item.
But we still will have to vote on whether or not we approve United Healthcare. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would be at the next board meeting.
Or a
We're
special,
making that
A
motion
special
now.
meeting, we'll do.
Okay.
probably have to do a
Because I want to see the rates and everything. I'm not going to vote on something that I have no idea what we're getting.
Right, okay?
This is a top priority for me. I will work to get an answer as soon as
Perhaps we'll have a
possible.
special meeting then,
That would-
so that the staff can get right on it when we have our decision. I'll call a special meeting.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Okay.
Madam Chair, to restate my
Thank you.
motion, I move that that after the attorney's had time to review the bid process, that if he deems the process was in violation of state law, that we're allowed to go out to bid immediately, so to save time. And second, if he deems that it is compliant, that it's put on the agenda within the next meeting for a vote.
I second that motion.
Okay. It's a motion and a second on the floor. Any board members have anything to say?
I would just ask that our broker of record or Tammy or whoever would give the board members the proper information with the rates if they weren't at the meeting with the insurance committee. That would be helpful.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0. Moving right along, we're at the consent agenda. Mr. Wright, have anything to pull?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Can I borrow that?
Yes.
No.
Ms. Cummings, Jim?
No, not other than
I don't either. I'll
E7.
entertain a motion.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I second it.
No, we pulled something minus which
We
number was
already
that?
moved on.
We already
that.
voted on that, remember?
Okay, it's already gone?
Consent agenda
Okay.
minus E7.
It's consent agenda minus E7.
Right. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. There's motion and second on the floor. Any discussion? Anybody have anything to say? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0. Moving right along, this is gonna be a quick meeting. We're in emergency session, out of regular session, into emergency session. The first item, passenger car routes for eligible students receiving exceptional student education services for the 2015-2016 school year. Justification, explanation, time sensitive.
I move that we approve.
Second?
Motion and second on the floor. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0. Next is the addition of new transportation facility to Fish Survey 4.1, justification, explanation, time sensitive.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody on the board have questions or comments? There's a motion and second on the floor to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0. And last is memorandum of understanding between the Putnam County.
Happened to number 3. Did we do number 3?
You missed number 3 on the new.
I'm sorry.
transportation facility.
Number 3, new there's 2 on the transportation facility, so I
It would be easy
have
to
an
mess
excuse.
that up.
Yes. New transportation facility, owner change order number 1, justification, explanation, time sensitive. And just
moved.
for the public, we're
Yeah.
saving money here, not spending it, okay?
Yeah.
Got a motion and a second.
Motion and second, David seconded, Nikki made the motion. Any comments or questions?
I
All those-
appreciate it. $500,000 less, so that's a good thing.
No, it's just the sales tax on $500,000.
Oh, okay.
It's a direct purchase. We purchase it, so there's no sale tax.
Oh, all
So
right.
7% of $500,000 is
That's good.
335,000.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Good job.
Okay, good job. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0.
Yeah.
Now we're on the last emergency item, new transportation facility. No,
Memorandum of understanding.
Kathy.
where am I? Yeah, I know.
Number
I'm really
4,
confused.
Hans.
I've been here since 9. Memorandum of understanding between the Putnam County School District and First Coast Technical School for use of the property located at 1001 Hudson Avenue, Palaca. Justification, explanation, time sensitive.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. I will say that I was delighted to see this memorandum of understanding. That's my comment, anyway. Any further comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Carries 5-0. Out of emergency session, back into regular session. There's no old business on the discussion agenda. New business, number 1, discussion and input on the Putnam County Educational Foundation, and I'm gonna go first. Because last meeting, I agreed to meet with the chamber about their foundation and the possibility of us joining them. It's up to the board, but after meeting with the director, that Education Foundation has been in place for many years, and they do junior achievement in our schools, and they give out scholarships. While the director thinks that they would be willing to have a couple, the superintendent, maybe a staff person, as advisors, I didn't get the feeling that we would mesh. That was just the feeling I got. They've been around a long time, and they really don't want us or our input. That was the feeling I got, I'll say it. But we're working on our own foundation, and I'm gonna bow out now. I agreed to report. I have their articles of incorporation, I have their bylaws, I have their list of directors. Their education foundation not only gives money to K through 12, but also to the college. And I don't think we want to raise money
That's a conflict.
for anything
Yes.
but us. So I will
Yeah,
let
so
you
we've
take
done some
over.
additional research, and there's been a seminar since the last time we were together talking
Great.
about the
Oh, we
foundation.
wanna hear about it.
So if the board would allow, we'd like to give an update on
Absolutely.
where things stand with that.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Rocco Carbone. I had the opportunity to go to the Education Foundation Consortium in Gainesville, which was the quarterly meeting. And I had an opportunity to speak with the president, Mary Chance, and Nikki Cummings was able to attend with me as well. Jim Padgett was also able to come as a interested citizen on the second day. We had an opportunity to reach out and meet individuals from St. Johns County, from Nassau, and from all over the state. And one of the things that we learned is that there are a lot of different opportunities to raise a lot of money for the school district through either grants, corporations who are interested in donations, matching funds from the state. And so we've begun to do research as well as begin to make contact so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That was one thing that we heard again and again and again. Don't reinvent the wheel. And so we are a member of this consortium, and we have an opportunity to make these contacts, to lean on others' experience, so that when we begin the foundation, we can start on the right foot, and that we can learn from others in both the ways that they have succeeded and have not done as well as they could. This coming Friday, I believe Ms. Cummings and I will be going to the St. Johns County Education Foundation board meeting as observers, so we'll have an opportunity to see how a very established education foundation runs their board meetings. And so we're looking forward to that. We've been in contact with their executive director, as well as an executive director of an education foundation in Jacksonville, and one of the vice presidents for Nassau County. And so they have supplied us with multiple documents that we can turn into similar documents that we can use as well.
Thank you.
So there's still, a split of thought about which way to go, whether the direct support organization or something that's a little more outside the umbrella of the district as a whole. But we're still in the fact gathering process to be able to give recommendations to the board. But again, there's a lot of exciting things happening with folks who are talking and getting together and brainstorming sessions. So we're moving on the right track.
Thank you,
Sounds
sir.
great. I want to thank both of you for the research. It's wonderful. And pretty soon, Nikki, your dream will come true. Nikki's been working very, 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 very hard on this from the beginning.
We just need to get the.
And we thank you. It's a wonderful thing. It'll be great once we get it going, and I'm sure we will. Anything else on that subject, board? Okay, moving on, financial statement for Children's Reading Center and for Putnam Academy of Arts and Sciences has been accepted by the district financial department and will be reviewed. Now on to board member reports. I'll start with,
May I go first?
sure you may.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to slip out after this. I have something to attend to for my daughter. Couple things. One, on the insurance front, let me mention something that I've been working on since about a month ago. And just putting it out there, I am in contact with some people in Tallahassee concerning the district being able to get on state insurance and be able to lobby as a whole with state insurance. I think that would, in the long term, be good for our employees, good for our families. I was in Clearwater last week at a legislative meeting for the School Board Association, and was put in contact with some great people in Tallahassee. Just so you know, this whole insurance journey has been a journey, and I want to thank Danny for doing a great job and working hard, for everybody who's worked hard, for the committee who's worked hard. At the end of the day, we all would agree we want what's best for our employees, for our teachers, for our principals, and if we could find a way to couple with the state, I think it would reduce our costs significantly. Others have tried. Some have been given permission, as I understand it. I'll be on vacation for a few days, but when I come back, I'll be having a conversation with some folks in Tallahassee. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring some good work. Now, nothing will get done this year. We all know this, right? Nothing's going to get done this year. So it would be the following year if we're able to advance the ball, but I am working on that. It is all of us on the board sort of have things we gravitate to that falls within board purview. And this is something that, now there's just a lot of importance that we do this the best way and the cheapest way that we can. Second, I was at the, Florida School Board, Association, legislative meeting, and, it's a state board that I'm on, a committee that I'm on. And, we did come up with our agenda. Board members, I don't know if you've gotten that yet.
Yeah.
You've gotten that? Okay, did you not get yours? I will make sure you get it forwarded to you.
Email, yeah.
But I think our legislative agenda for next year is good. I will mention, not to go through the whole elevator speech, but the one thing that I think that everybody can maybe be thrilled about is we are recommending to our legislators to remove the school grading system based upon assessments. We are asking them not to grade schools based upon those tests, and that is something we're doing. We've also are asking that BAM scores be eliminated when evaluating teachers on a statewide level. We're asking that to be reconsidered as well. We also, Madam Superintendent, did agree to support the superintendent's legislative agenda, which some of these items appear on that as well. I think what you will see in that area, you're going to see some pretty big challenges in accountability, but also in charters. The state is going to have to further define how charters function within the state and school districts' responsibilities with charters. It wasn't a pro or con debate. It was a clarity of responsibility. And that's where I think most districts have some problems, that we're called upon to approve charters, but then not really to have charters comply with the same standards and considerations that we have. So part of the legislative agenda will bring charters into alignment with what's expected in public schools. And so that, I think, will be one thing that would be positive. And the other thing, I did not get my way on this. I wanted them to form a completely separate district for charters and take all charter issues out of the hands of public districts. That was my recommendation. I lost. But I will fight for that again, because I am for charter schools. I like charter schools. I just think it's very conflicting and confusing when you have public districts trying to also have a foot in charter schools. So from the idea of clarity and I think just efficiency, that will be advanced again. We lost that one this round, but hopefully next time we'll get that. So, Board, do you have any questions legislatively on what we came up with? Buckles? I can't spell legislatively, but
You
Okay.
need to, you gonna be watching your daughter, or you gonna come see the governor in a little bit?
I'm gonna be with my daughter.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
And
you.
I have to excuse myself, so I'm sorry.
Jean?
Well, I guess you and David and I were able to attend the ceremony at Mosley Elementary School this week to cut the ribbon for our new fitness center, their new fitness center. Laura and all of her staff did such an amazing job planning that event, and it was so fun being a part of it. I'm very excited about it, and I hope that I can get a trainer in there with me and maybe learn how to use some of that equipment. Been busy attending all kinds of sporting events and rooting for our home teams, and they're all doing great. Win or lose, they're all doing great. This is homecoming season. All the kids are excited about their homecoming floats and parades and dances and football games, and I just pray that they'll all stay very safe. I was also very happy to read what Terry was talking about with the legislative agenda. I think they came up with some very good ideas and things to pursue, and that's about it for me. I'm leaving Thursday morning to fly to New York City to see both my daughters at one time, since they both live in New York, and so I'll see you next time.
I wanted to thank Rocco and Jim Pageant for attending the foundation meeting. That we have a great resource. It's just an amazing group of people that have foundations across the state, They're all education. They all have a passion for education. So to have that many people in a room with that passion is like, wow. And there's no state, it's not the state pounding on their heads. It's just like, wow, we can spend money. We can do this. We can see a need and really not have to have the mandates that go along with spending our money. So I'm really excited about that. I appreciate all the abilities that we can have as a district. I will say personally, I think the DSO is really going to be the best way to go at this point, seeing how everybody works things out and modeling other organizations, but that's a board decision. But the ability to get even in our small county, and when you see small counties smaller than us that are making all this money and really excited about education, it's really heartwarming. And so I know that we have a group of people in this community. I know that we have people that care deeply about education and deeply about these students. I'm telling you, these snack pack programs have gone crazy lately. I'm getting calls all the time about people wanting to be involved and what can I do and how can we, mesh together. So it's a need that when we have our students taken care of, it's across the board. I think everybody wants to be involved in some way. They just have to find that passion, whether it's on a foundation board or whether it's, fundraising or whatever. It's just something that I'm really excited about. I know that our county can do well. So I'm ready, whatever we have to do to get that 501c3 done, because that's the first step, and then we can move forward and get things moving. But thank you, board, for being so open to the foundation, because it's got great potential. So that's all.
Thank you, Nikki. Mr. B.
And did enjoy the ceremony at Mosley. Very nice until Miss Crawford got on to me. But
When
I'll
he
be
needed
I'll
getting
be
on to
I'll
you.
be more quiet next time. Anyway, it was a fantastic time, and I thought it was great. I appreciate the letter that we got from Holland and Knight, making sure that we're in the right process, and because sometimes these are just formalities and they're overlooked, and I don't see it being a major problem, but it's just something that's going to have to push Charlie so we can get it done as rapidly as possible for the benefit of the employees. And I will be driving in the homecoming parade. Taylor, Matt and Casey's smallest, is a homecoming attendant, so she'll be trying to stay away from Luke in the back seat, so it'll all be good. Anyway, I look forward to that. I thought the workshop today was good. I think it clarified some information that probably we should have done a better job, and you can always do a better job. And I guess that's the lesson I took away from it, was continue to try to do better, and you'll get things done. Other than that, I think legislatively, we're looking real good for our project for next year. I met with Ms. Criswell the other day before this memorandum came to you, and I met with officials from First Coast Tech, and we're set to go for next year, and it's looking real good. So,
Very good.
Film at 11, your turn.
Thank you, sir. Well, we need to set the time, board, for our reorganizational meeting on November 17th. That's where we select a new chairman, and it's suggested at 3:30 so that we can also have a business meeting. Is that okay with everyone? We have consensus on that, 3:30 on November 17th for reorganization, and then a regular business meeting. That's that. I, of course, had Beasley, CLO's center, not Mosley Center, and it was Ashley McCool.
I know, I said Laura,
Yeah, you
didn't I?
said Laura.
I'm sorry.
Gave the wrong person
Y'all
credit,
know who
but
I
I'm sure
meant.
she had something, Laura had something to do with it too.
Close.
But it is amazing. It's just amazing. If you haven't been there, go and see it. It's incredible. There were 3 in the state of Florida, $100,000 facilities for our kids, their parents, their neighbors, the district employees, anybody who wants to use it. So you really, if nothing else, should check it out. You'd get goosebumps. It's incredible. The backpack program, my goodness, how can you learn if you're hungry? Really, that's why so many people are jumping on this need for our students who go home on Friday night and don't eat until they get back to us for breakfast on Monday, and we have so many of them. So the backpack program is phenomenal. But I'm on the United Way Board, and we just got a request from Catholic Charities to give them money because they're gonna start a backpack program. And one of my goals as treasurer of United Way is to unite all these generous people in this county and have one backpack program if there's 6. And before school started, we had about 15 different agencies giving us school supplies. And if United Way could coordinate that and get the right number of supplies to the right number of schools, that's what United Way is all about. That's what they're supposed to be about. Uniting the agencies and the people who want to help and getting the help done. So I'm gonna be working on that, and I am done. Mr. Attorney, how are the affairs of the school, the legal affairs of the school district?
They're going well. I will take a very hard look at this letter that we received from Mrs. Walker from Holland Knight in Tallahassee, and try to get a response to the board members just as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Superintendent.
I have for you from a group at Melrose. You had already approved that they put a historical marker at Melrose Elementary School, but you wanted to see what they were going to put on the marker. So I'm going to let each of you have a copy of this. Of course, the attorney needs to look at it. It's really a history. It might need to be tweaked a little bit, and I thought maybe our attorney could look at it and see if there maybe really though just a comma here and some English corrections there that maybe Jane could do. But it looks good. It was a history, and we probably will vote on this at the next meeting. They would have liked to have had it done today, but they didn't get us this information till yesterday. So we told them we'd put it on the agenda for next week, and if you just look over it and know that it's coming. And it's really nice of them to want to give that history and put it on a historical marker outside the school. It's Melrose Elementary School, but it was Melrose High School. And I understand my mother's the youngest of 11 kids, and she and her siblings graduated there from high school all those years ago. So it's been around a long time. We certainly had a great time at Mosley Elementary. Our principal, Ms. McCool, did a great job, she and her staff, of putting together a wonderful presentation for Jake, Body by Jake. I think everybody's heard of him, and the fact that he is doing this around the country, and they choose 4 states each year and 3 cities in each state. And the fact that Mosley was able to write that grant and receive it and be one of the 3 cities in Florida is truly amazing. And that $100,000 facility is wonderful, and it's called the Live Positively Fitness Center. And certainly students who are physically fit do better at their academics. So we're really excited. Plus, it's their health. It's a health issue, and we want to train children into adults who know how to be physically fit. Certainly that's going to help them all of their lives. So it was very exciting, and just the positive energy and the excitement in that whole program was amazing. So my hat's off to Ms. McCool and her staff at Mosley. They did a great job. And I'll stop with that today, other than to say that our insurance committee, as they met the other day, they have been working for quite a while. We have an employee representative from every school and every work site in the district, and they've worked very hard over the last several weeks with Danny Page and his staff, and they really have done a good job. So I'll be very excited to have our attorney get all the information he needs and come back with a recommendation to you. And know that the only thing that we're trying to do is what's best for our employees, because certainly if insurance is supposed to be their benefit, it's not a benefit if they're struggling and they can't even afford it. So we need to do what's best for the employees is the bottom line in all of this. That's really all that matters in the whole thing as far as I'm concerned. And Blue Cross did have a representative there, Andy, who spoke to the committee. He got to speak before they took their vote, and the information that he presented was wonderful. But it certainly should be a decision of the employees, and those employees that were there were representing all the employees at their work site. So, and they had they voted. And we listened, and it was very informative, and I'm sure that they'll get you that information, certainly to our attorney and to the board, so that you can make an informed decision. And that's all I have today, other than to say the governor will be at Beef O'Brady's about 6 o'clock, and everybody's invited. He was in Jacksonville all day today and actually has time to come down and spend a few minutes here in Putnam County, and that's very exciting to me. So he'll stop in at Beef O'Brady's. If you'd like to say hello or have your picture taken with him, come on over.
Thank you. I neglected, board. I'm going to pass this out. These are the slated meeting dates we're going to vote on at a reorganizational meeting for next year. So you may want to check your personal calendars, vacation schedules, anything else that you have. And David won't share.
I'm just messing.
And we will be voting, as I said, right after you're at the reorganizational meeting. There's a couple extra up here if anybody's interested, and I'm sure we can get you more copies. There being no further business to come before this board, we stand adjourned.